Remember how last week I featured a tweet highlighting how Bitcoin had been quietly sitting at 47K for 5 days, and how it felt like we were about to witness a massive push higher? Well, here we are at 57,000, and here are all the bears in disbelief.
Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry, you can't just... Oh,
Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did...
Larry!
Ouch, yeah, don't be a bear in a bull market. Hello, I'm Crypto Casey, and welcome to another episode of Last Week Crypto. Every Sunday, we review the performance of the largest cryptocurrencies, top gainers, as well as the latest global news stories affecting the crypto markets this past week. This week, we will discuss what the government and traditional financial investors are up to, the crypto market's pricing surge to new all-time highs, some fear, uncertainty, and doubt, as well as how the crypto market may be on the verge of euphoria and greed. To check out the links to all the articles we discussed, go to cryptocasey.com/lastweekcrypto. This week's episode is brought to you by Crypto.com, an exchange with over 55 different cryptocurrencies. On Crypto.com's mobile app, you can buy crypto with bank transfers, credit, debit cards, or crypto at true cost with no markups. Crypto.com also has a desktop exchange that is solely for crypto-to-crypto trading, which isn't available in the US quite yet. If you use the link below to sign up for Crypto.com, you'll receive $25 worth of cryptocurrency for free when you use the referral code CryptoCasey, all while supporting the channel. Also, every Wednesday, I conduct a weekly AMA or Ask Me Anything at Instagram.com/CryptoCasey. So use the link to my one and only official Instagram account listed in the description area to follow me and ask me anything you want every Wednesday. Awesome, let's hit Last Week Crypto. Looking at the top cryptocurrencies by market cap, we've had quite a lot of flippening take place this week. Bitcoin up 21%, ETH up 9%, Binance Coin out of nowhere up an unbelievable 104.3%, and DOT, another mover and shaker, up 44.8%. Looking at the top gainers this week, Raven Coin up a crazy 399.8%, ZK Swap up 248.8%, Dodo up 213.6%, and PancakeSwap up 107.7%. The crypto markets are definitely rocking, but first, let's talk about how the traditional markets are faring and what's in store. Yellen drops $1.1 trillion Treasury cash pile and a big jolt for money markets. With new liquidity about to pour in, it remains to be seen how it will affect equities, risk assets, and more importantly, money markets. Aggressive, sharp moves are never a good thing for markets to digest. In theory, one can argue the Fed is not concerned about a quickly steepening yield curve and let the back end move in line with inflation expectations, as they are bent on letting inflation run hot. Yellen already made loud proclamations that doing too little is a much bigger risk to the US economic recovery than doing too much. They are prepared to face the consequences afterwards, i.e. runaway inflation, rather than spend too little to help the recovery. Their focus lies on the tens of millions of people out of jobs, and their sole goal is to get the employment rate back up. Jobless claims moved up another 860,000 for last week. The US job recovery is losing steam, but the real question is whether loose monetary accommodation is the solution, as all it does is push asset prices higher. More money printing is coming, not less, for all the wrong reasons. Translation: the feds are kicking the can down the road by printing money to give to big zombie corporations that don't produce any real value to society so they can keep people employed for the time being. So instead of massive corporate bankruptcies, massive unemployment, massive hyperinflation of the dollar, causing massive increase in the price of goods and services, leading to massive civil unrest, and the well overdue massive crash of the traditional stock market, instead of all of that happening now, it will just happen later, and it will happen much more quickly, severely, and intensely. Kicking the can down the road so it doesn't happen on your watch? Good looking out, Yellen. And if you don't believe me, just follow the money. What are the traditional financial investors up to? What's Wall Street doing? Asset managers rush to shore up portfolios against inflation. Investors are asking tough questions of money managers as concerns rise that the stock market could suffer. Signs that inflation is making a comeback are unsettling big investors. Past periods of high inflation have weighed heavily on real returns from stocks and bonds, which have flourished over the past decade when inflationary pressures have generally remained muted. But inflation forecasts are now rising following massive increases in government spending and the torrent of liquidity unleashed by central banks in response to the coronavirus pandemic. So what are asset managers thinking about using as a hedge against imminent inflation? Gold? Well, not too sure about that, as sentiment in gold is turning bearish after prices test 8-month low. Wall Street analysts are decisively bearish on the precious metal in the near term, and retail investors have seen their bullish sentiment drop to a multi-year low. Gold's drop has been longer and deeper than I anticipated, but we are close to the capitulation stage where selling begets selling, and longer-term holders decide to give up or stand aside, said Adrian Day, president and CEO of Adrian Day Asset Management. So what are asset managers turning to in order to front-run inflation? None other than Bitcoin. Here's why financial advisory giant the Motley Fool is investing $5 million in Bitcoin. The company highlights 3 primary reasons for its investment. We believe it will store value more effectively than gold over the long term. We believe it may become a medium for transactions, as if pricing stabilizes in the decade ahead. We believe it can act as a productive hedge against inflation. And other investors obviously agree, as Coinbase stock traded at implied valuation of $100 billion this week, NASDAQ private market data shows. Deep-pocketed investors appear hungry for Coinbase equity ahead of the crypto exchange's long-awaited direct listing. So it's no surprise that other renowned investors like Raoul Pal share an even deeper conviction towards the digital asset. Bitcoin is the only life raft to escape the poverty trap, says macro guru Raoul Pal. Macroeconomics guru Raoul Pal says Bitcoin is providing investors with the best chance of escaping a cycle of economic despair. Paul says the devaluation of the US dollar, coupled with wage stagnation, are the central factors leaving people impoverished, frustrated, and unable to grow their wealth. The wage issue is why really people are so pissed. They feel poorer, they are poorer, they have more debt, they need more debt. It's an endless loop. The average person can't get in front of these massive secular waves or the falling value of the denominator, fiat currency. They can't own enough investments to make up for the difference. It's a poverty trap of the middle classes. Within this cycle, Paul asserts that the flagship cryptocurrency is the only thing on his radar that could rectify the wealth inequality. Even though Bitcoin may be volatile, Paul says that its long-term trajectory is upward and that its fundamental purpose will be able to change the dynamic that the middle and upper classes are facing. The founder and CEO of Real Vision Finance says many in the middle class and the younger generation has found themselves frustrated and trapped in a low-income loop without the ability to break out. It is literally the only chance the median person has to change this dynamic, especially young people who are in huge competition for jobs with boomers and their own massive generation, and with technology and workers around the world struggling to survive too. Bitcoin is the only life raft I know of that has the optionality to change this over time. It will get overly speculative, it will burst, but it will rise again. I don't see many alternatives, as most can't be successful entrepreneurs or market wizards. He's right, and we have not seen a more dire impending market climate in the US since the Great Depression. Once everything opens up again, post-pandemic, and all the stimulus money starts hitting the streets, the dollar will absolutely hyperinflate into oblivion. And everything, all goods and services will become largely unaffordable by the vast majority of people. So the most risky investment in history is to not buy Bitcoin. And once you have some Bitcoin, consider diversifying into ETH, because even though Ether sets new all-time high over $2,000 as the bull run continues, it's still severely undervalued. This year alone, 10K per ETH as well as 20K per ETH are in the cards. And just to illustrate how quickly and dynamically the crypto industry moves, PancakeSwap becomes the first billion-dollar project on Binance Smart Chain. PancakeSwap takes advantage of lower costs on the Binance Smart Chain to become the second-ranked DEX by volume. And just like that, PancakeSwap becomes the leader of decentralized exchanges and outshines Uniswap. BNB gains 45% in 24 hours as PancakeSwap flippens Uniswap volume. And in the midst of this raging crypto bull market, crypto as an asset class just surpassed Amazon in market cap. Sweet. Well, we can't have FOMO without FUD. Michael Burry of Big Short fame, governments will move to squash Bitcoin. Michael Burry, the hedge fund manager whose bet against the 2008 housing bubble was dramatized in the Christian Bale movie The Big Short, thinks governments may move to squash Bitcoin and gold. He tweets, "Prepare for inflation, reopening and stimulus on the way. Pre-COVID, it took $3 of debt to create $1 GDP, and it is much worse now. In an inflationary crisis, governments will move to squash competitors in the currency arena, Bitcoin and gold." So I agree with him about preparing for inflation, and I also agree that gold could be at risk, as the United States government has essentially stolen gold from its citizens and prevented them from owning gold in the past. But as for squashing Bitcoin, I tend to agree with the sentiment conveyed in this tweet. The state will simply crush Bitcoin when it gets big enough. And it shows a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio laughing, cocktail in hand, with lasers coming out of his eyes. Ha! Here's the most important thing to understand right now. Bitcoin is here to stay. DeFi is here to stay. NFTs are here to stay. And if you're smart, which we all are, you're here to stay too. Cool. Let's wrap up this episode with a look at our very own Buffett indicator for the crypto world, which is Bitcoin's net unrealized profit/loss chart, also called the NUPL chart, which can be viewed with a Glassnode account on glassnode.com. Looking at this chart, you can see each time the blue euphoria greed level is breached, shortly thereafter, a crash occurred, triggering a bear market. Zooming in to look at the past month, you can see this green line is getting extremely close to the dotted line here, where the blue euphoria greed levels are. When we breach into the blue level of euphoria greed, I will be selling off most of my altcoins because, as we've seen in previous cycles, it's usually indicative of an imminent crash. And holding altcoins through a several-year bear market is not fun, and I'm sure a lot of us have been there, myself included. So make sure to follow me on Instagram, where I do post more real-time market updates to my Instagram stories. And yes, I know, it's no fun to talk about bearish scenarios during a bull market, but if you don't want to hear it from me, take it from someone else who's been here before. Check out Ivan from Ivan on Tech's take on the current state of the markets.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you need to warn, all right? Because when I warn people that, hey, be careful, there's always someone writes, hey, Ivan, why are you spreading FUD? Don't spread FUD. I'm sure Ivan has already sold everything, so now he's trying to spread FUD to bring back the, you always get that. But I would rather have that than to have people that have recklessly entered the space. And sometimes you hear people selling their house, like I told you. So there, something is not working here in the office upstairs, okay? I'm hyped when the market is undercooked. We had a lot of undercookage. It was undercooked. Now I feel it is fairly cooked, getting a bit towards overcooked. Just like with chicken, you can overcook it a lot. I'm not Homer Simpson with this is the end is near, I would rather be warning now, and say, hey, look, it's amazing, very, very good, use your brain, than to not warn, and then people go, hey, Ivan, why didn't you warn? Why didn't you warn me? I thought we're gonna go to the moon tomorrow. In crypto, everyone gets rich quick. I thought it was a human right to 10x your money. I thought that when I enter into alts, I'm guaranteed some kind of 100x. I thought that, hey, you enter crypto, you become a billionaire overnight. I thought that now that Elon Musk is here, the only way is up. I thought now that we break 50K, we're gonna snap to 500K. I thought it's a given, okay?
And if you're interested in learning how to become a developer in the industry or learn more about the advanced technical concepts of blockchain technology, using the link in the description area below, you can access the Academy at a discounted price. So scroll down and check it out. So yes, much like Ivan, I don't want to say we didn't warn you, because people get mad when you talk about a potential pullback. But they are the first people spamming you, oh my god, why is it crashing? Pro tip, relax. If this move is bothering you, go drink some juice and give yourself a massage, because it shouldn't. And I'll leave you guys with one more parting tweet from Sven the Savage. During bubbles, price action creates an aura of invincibility, infallibility, arrogance. People can even become fanatical, much like in politics and religion, and any voices not conforming to the running dogma are relentlessly attacked, dismissed, and ridiculed. Not a good look. Am I saying crypto is in a bubble right now? No, not necessarily, but like I've always told you guys, don't try to time this market, and make sure you take profits along the way. Taking profits from altcoins and parlaying them into Bitcoin or Ether is a good strategy. You can also consider parlaying them into other types of investments other than digital assets, and even use it to pay off any debt that you owe. Either way, make sure you are taking profits along the way, and while holding your cryptocurrency for the long term, make sure you are transferring your crypto off of exchanges to hold in a cold storage hardware wallet. You can scroll down to the description area below to access the correct and official sites of my recommended hardware wallets. BC Vault is my personal favorite. Another option is the Ledger Nano Backup App. So scroll down and check them out. Or if you would rather make income from your idle digital assets you're planning to hold for long term, you can safely earn interest with services provided by BlockFi. With a BlockFi interest account, your cryptocurrency can earn up to 8.6% APY. Interest accrues daily and is paid monthly. There are no hidden fees and no minimum balances. With a trading account, you can make instant trades and start accruing interest immediately, all at low cost. With a loan account, you can also borrow money at rates as low as 4.5% APR. Coming soon will be the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card, earning you 1.5% back in Bitcoin on every purchase. So if you're interested in learning more about BlockFi, you can get up to a $250 Bitcoin bonus when you use the link in the description area to sign up, all while supporting the channel. Awesome. Well, that was Last Week Crypto with me, Crypto Casey. If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more crypto content. To check out the links to all the articles we discussed, go to cryptocasey.com/lastweekcrypto. So have you been taking profits through this bull cycle so far? If so, what are you doing with your gains? Did you do anything special to celebrate both Bitcoin and Ether's all-time high? Let me know in the comments below. Be safe out there.